Let me come on camera. Good to see you guys. Drop a note in the chat if you're here. Would love to just know that we are broadcasting out into the world. I can check here, but it's so much less effective. Love to see some hellos, and let me know where you're calling from. It'll tell me your name, but let me also just know, have you had a show canceled? Are you having clients ask you about coronavirus? Are you feeling like, man, what do I do? Thanks for being here. This was a important live training for me to do. I've just been caught up in this and thinking back about all the times in my life when something big was going on and something big world crisis and blah, 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 and all this and what I always did to thrive through it. I wanted to share some of that today. Hey, good. We got there he is. Christian, good to see you, my man. Really good to see you. And look at that good looking picture back there. Good stuff. I'm glad those are coming through. Those weren't quite coming through. I don't know. Those weren't coming through one time when I tried doing this. I can't see my own thing, but I'm trusting that you guys can. Anyone seeing this on Facebook? That's my question. I am seeing it on YouTube. Slide video is now available to watch. Well, okay, let's watch it. Hey, there we go. I think it is. Yep. All right, very good. I will stop watching now. Good to see you guys. Like I said, drop a line in there. Where you're calling, where you're watching from. If you've had a show cancel on you or if people are talking about it, I want to collect some of this as we go along, and I have a presentation I want to give you guys that I hope will really inspire you, because this is a powerful time. And the easiest thing to do is to look at it like a bit of a time when it's difficult and I have to shut down and I have to hide. Throwing that away. This is one of those times when 34 years as a professional entertainer can really benefit you. I'm going to show you some of what I've done over the last 3.5 decades as an entertainer when these things pop up. It's not unusual. There's going to be more of them, especially if you're a young performer like Mr. Christian here. What did he say? 2 meetings canceled for this week. Yeah, no shows though. Okay, good. Well, it's going to happen. We're going to keep seeing those things. So let's dig in. My name is Barry Friedman. I was one half of the Raspini Brothers for 34 years, from 1982 to 2016. Creator of Showbiz Blueprint, Get More Corporate Gigs, 30 Days Sugar Free. I've been an online coach for hundreds, thousands of entertainers I've touched the lives of, hundreds I've done coaching for in my programs and private practice, and playing in some of the internet's biggest launches nowadays. So that's kind of a side thing, but it also gives me an insight into what's happening in business. So let's dig into this thing, and I'll be up here in the little magical circle sometimes, and also like this. Good to see a few people here too. Jay Great, Max Go Smart. All right, I love that, man. Go Smart, one of my favorite shows. Ken from Winnipeg, good to see you too, man. Hester the Jester. Gosh, names are better than they were when I was performing. That's pretty good. Although we had one. Well, Kamikaze Fireflies, I mean, the best name in the world. They're out here and playing with us all right now, too. Christian, Priscilla, good to see you, too. And Donna, great to see you guys. Yeah, thinking about producing a dinner show in a couple months. Max, always good to get on that side of it, right, where we're actually getting to take the risk and earn the rewards. And maybe good to wait a couple months for sure on that one. All right, very good. Hey, let's dig into this slideshow here. I want to talk to you about how to thrive in the face of a news feeding frenzy, which we are right now. And a quick warning, you guys, this is not by any means an instructional, educational video about coronavirus, the current coronavirus. There's plenty of news sources out there. But what I want to do is just put it all in perspective for us as entertainers, as entrepreneurs, as self-employed people, really how this can play to our benefit, and yeah, some of the costs it's going to have on us. Absolutely. There's going to be both and in this one. Quick chart I just grabbed of deaths by age group. 80 plus years old, it's having about a 15% death rate right now of all cases, people getting it. And this stat on the bottom, patients who reported no pre-existing medical conditions had a case fatality rate of about less than 1%. All right. So just some perspective on this thing. If you're in the age group where I am, it's about a 1.3. What does that mean? 13 out of 1,000 people who get this thing may pass away from this. Statistics say if you're in good shape, if you're keeping your body alive, I will tell you there are at least a dozen things I could name off the top of my head that'll kill you faster than this thing. And we're not paying a whole lot of attention to those. Sugar, bad sleep, no exercise, the stuff we eat that we put in our mouths, the stress we put ourselves under, lack of exercise. This is not the big fear. And sadly, because of the way the media runs with stuff like this, it's getting a lion's share of the attention right now. Yeah. So, as always, universal precautions are going to keep us safer, and just a huge ass dose of common sense. Hand washing, the recommendation, 20 seconds in hot water. If you guys walked into my office and saw my pens lined up and some OCD in my life, I'll just tell you, 20 seconds of washing hands is not the biggest deal for me. I'm okay with that. Keeping fingers out of these 7 holes in our head, these are going to help you a lot, right? Just keeping germs out of your face, the nose, mouth, ears, and eyes. Portals to our inside operating system. So, universal precautions are safe. That's what they have. Okay to rub behind your ear. Have an itch. And then a big one, use something besides what you've been touching metal with. Sneeze into your elbow or tissue. Avoiding close contact to whatever extent is possible. And one of my favorites, don't lock yourself in a closed air system with thousands of people if you don't have to. And that's why a whole lot of events are being canceled and postponed right now. Worst offender, look at this. Cruise ships. I'm 3 hours from San Francisco. There's a ship that's been circling out there for a couple days now, maybe going on a week. And they dropped a few people off, but really those closed air systems, if you can avoid them, do it. You know what? It may not be the best time to take a cruise ship job. I just read that if you were on one ship and got off a ship, you can't get onto another ship for 2 weeks. So yes, there's opportunity for the likes of us, but is this the best time to lock yourself in a closed air system with a lot of really old people? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. So good. This is having, bottom line is this is having a massive impact on our industry as performers. This is taking us down. And it's going to continue for some time. So a couple examples. These are all from the Showbiz Blueprint alumni group. Any members who are on this training? I see a handful of names right there. Hey, Carol, good to see you too. Really good. And David, good to see you guys. Any alumni who are on here, you're seeing this stuff inside our private Facebook group. Clients inquiring about our coronavirus cancellation policy. The virus has finally affected me, one member said. Do I refund the deposit of several $1,000s? We're going to talk about this during our time together today. Another one bites the dust. These are just in the last couple days. This is getting real. All gigs for March and April canceled except for one so far. Yeah, this is where it's at. Just these are a handful of ones in our group. There's even more. Event planners, one person said, are getting hammered super hard. Losses not being covered by event insurance as cancellations are voluntary. Are they voluntary when 80% of your attendees write you and ask for refunds and say they aren't coming? I don't know how voluntary that is, but insurance companies, they have some good whittling lawyers, so they're going to do what they can. So let's do this for our time together today. Let's focus on the positive, that which we can absolutely control. Winning, it has always been my strategy during any big economic or world crisis. And guess what, you guys? Don't let this young look fool you. I'm old enough to have been around through quite a few economic and world crises. There have been so many in my professional life. And I've always had this strategy of I'm going to use this time and I'm going to use this to my benefit because there's some amazing math that works in our favor here. The easiest thing to do is to fill yourself with that soundtrack that you can hear under your desired flavor. You can go to the left, you can go to the right. You could hear the soundtrack that you want, that feels good to you, that keeps you in that safe little place of panic and despair. And while it's easy, I will tell you one thing, there are massively huge costs to this. It puts us into a victim posture, and that invites further victimization, right? If I can't do anything and I'm laying out flat and this is killing me, that's what's going to happen. You'll attract that which you hold the posture of. So if you're going to grab some sort of a victim posture on this stuff, know that it's going to bring in more. And that's a cost that I doubt many people on here can afford. You give away your power when honestly, your power is what's needed most at this time. at this juncture. This is when our superpowers as entertainers is needed more than anything. Our superpowers should carry society during these times. It always did. Back in the olden days, the jesters, they would never announce bad news unless the jester was there to soften it, to help the message carry across. And I don't want to say we need to be the wacky jesters during this, but the humor, the skills, the dedication, persistence that we bring, this is the most important thing that we can bring during these troubled times. So the goal of news, and you know this, right? It's to fill airtime, keep people watching, sell ads. And guess what? So little of it actually matters. Very little. This is more than anything our time to shine. So I want to just use that as the springboard for this time that we have together today, because this is where I've always come from in times of crisis, economic, global, and you have to come from this place. Yeah, trade shows are being canceled. This is a message here from Jo. And Jo, one of our members from Showbiz Blueprint, is at a conference in Vegas with 130,000 people. So yes, and like I say, these words yes and are going to be coming up constantly for us during this entire time. Oh, why did I lose my camera? Sorry about that. Let me pop over here 1 second. Oh boy, I lost camera. Give me 1 second. No longer valid. Damn it, did I lose my I think we may have lost one here. No. Sorry everyone, I think we may have lost YouTube. I'm not sure why. Not sure why we lost YouTube on that one, but and maybe we didn't. I don't mind being the jester. Yeah, Pastor the Jester. Well said. You know, that's all right. You don't need to mind being the jester on this one. If you're still on YouTube and getting us, could you let me know? Sorry, we are dual streaming there, and I'm not sure why. Wow, maybe only going to YouTube. Maybe not Facebook. Facebook has its own weirdness. Hopefully everyone will come over here. But I wanted to share that. I wanted to share these as a takeoff place, because you have to do this. You have to come from that place, because the easiest thing is to hide and play, and that's not what we're doing here. So today, I'm going to share actions that you can take in 3 key categories. And because you have to be, put it this way, I was going to say you can be, but you have to be better off once we move past this. I mean, you can't just sit there and take a beating for who knows, a week, a month, a year. It's impossible. If you're going to do that, get out now and save yourself the stress. But if you want to come out of this better, it takes a conscious effort throughout, and that's what I want to talk about today. These are some of the things that I came out with between 82 and 2016. I came through and thrived during savings and loan crashes, past coronaviruses. Yes, there have been past ones, my young friends. Y2K. Anyone want to remember that glorious moment in time when we thought it was all going to end? Man, things shut down before and after that for a little while. The weirdest thing in the world. Economic recessions, those have been a couple that I can count during that. International wars, the dot-com bust. Raspini brothers were earning crazy hand over fist kind of money during the dot-com, in all kinds of capacities, not only performances, but at JV meetings and venture capital meetings. It was a good time. And then when that bust, yeah, no problem. But it always went back to, what are the basics I need to do to keep building this thing? 9/11, may we never forget. That shut down our industry for a long time. And there was a way to use that time to really connect and build more powerful relationships with the people who would eventually absolutely be hiring us again. And that's what I did. YouTube is fine. Thanks so much for letting me know that, Pester. YouTube is working great fine. Yeah, a bunch of people. Thanks so much. All good. Okay, Facebook, hey, Facebook's one of those things we may have to deal with it changing pretty soon. There's so much going on there. Who knows what's going on? Glad we had a backup stream to run over to. So the 3 areas that I'm going to cover today, as far as where we can really attach growth in our business during this downtime, 3 places I'm going to capture. One of them is mindset. Because anyone who's done any type of self-development work will tell you that our thoughts affect our feelings affect our actions, and our actions always affect our results. And can you see where it fits in right now? Just what we're talking about. If you're pounding yourself with newspaper, pundits, TV news, satellite radio, internet memes about how bad things are, can you see how that plays on the thoughts, feelings, actions, and results? That's what I want to chop for you right now. That's what we're going to dig into and chop. So mindset number 1, you guys, commit to rising above. The title of this one, even take a note down on it, because as I'm talking about it, I want you to be able to record, this is how I'm going to commit to rising above. I put a couple examples here. You can't escape the facts. I mean, the facts of the coronavirus are the facts of the coronavirus. They're not going away. But the truth is, they take about a minute to absorb. A minute. How would your life be different if you spent a minute on this stuff instead of an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours? Every time you get a break, it's playing in your ear. How's it different? So the mindset piece boils down to you owning your time, finding out what you need to find out. What was that, Paul Simon? I get all the news I need on the weather report. A little bit like that. So you can't escape the pundits. It's their job to keep your ears filled, your eyeballs filled, to pass off the baton to the next one and the next one and the next one and create controversy. They will absorb your life. All right, so if you commit to rising above, get the news you need, it takes about a minute, and turn off the bullshit. Really, it just doesn't need to be a part of your life. It's not supporting you in going forward, in growing, and being the person you're going to be when all this blows over. Mindset number 2, see opportunity everywhere, every single place you go, everything you hear, everything you see. How can you see opportunity? Here's how you do it. Because while the muggles are down, your willingness and your ability, your skill, everything that you've done in your life as a performer, it makes you shine bright, will rule the day, the conversation, and the world that you live in. See opportunity everywhere and tap into that which makes you the performer who you are, the one who you've been, the one who you are on stage. You can be that person every minute in life. That's what our culture needs more than anything right now. And then serve yourself and the world by creating. And when I say creating, you guys, I want to tell you, in times like this, it doesn't have to look anything like it usually does. One good example of that, I was 6 months unable to juggle after I broke my collarbone in the late 2000s. Unable to move my arm for a 4-time world juggling champion who was doing a lot of corporate events. It wasn't a great thing to have happen. Creativity came in so many different ways, with building relationships with clients who I knew I was going to be back, inventing an online course that served thousands of entertainers around the world. Creativity doesn't have to look like it always did. In fact, this is a grand opportunity for it to look nothing like it ever has. Yeah, David. Oh, shoot, man. Look at it. I think this is going to start happening. I'm glad we had a backup. Dave and Kylie, thanks. Sorry for being late. We were looking on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, I think, worked for the first couple minutes, maybe. And then I got an indication over there on the Magic computer, which you guys know because you were just here over there, that Facebook wasn't streaming. So glad we had a backup and we're here now. So see that opportunity everywhere. Challenge yourself to look at life through the lens of creation, especially at this time. What's happening in culture? What's happening in my community? What's happening in my family? What's happening inside myself, that I can look at it through the eyes of creation and possibly serve others? It's a grand opportunity. It's bigger than we'll know until it's all over. Second area I want to touch on, where we can thrive during these times of a news frenzy, is relationships, because who you are in the present defines how you will be seen in the future. So my invitation to you, everybody, be a leader. All right. I often say, as entertainers, we got 90% of the heavy lifting done for being a leader. All right. We know how to show up on camera. We know how to smile when we talk. We know how to fill time. We know how to deliver a message. Who you are in the present defines how you'll be seen in the future. So let's look at a couple ways that you can use this time to really boost relationships, so that when all this does move past us, we're that much further along. Because with your mindset in place, which we talked about first, you are free and open to connect. My invitation is your clients are being nailed with badness every single minute, everywhere they turn. Something's costing them money, costing them clients, costing them opportunity. My invitation to you is to share a laugh, a conversation, or even, yes, an offer. An offer to serve them, to serve their clients, to deliver a message, to show up. And again, I don't want to wind all the way back to that slide, but I will tell you, creativity doesn't have to look like it's always looked in the past. This is your invitation to redefine what can an offer look like to a client, to someone who had to cancel a party. Could you record in a really fun way with music or song or juggling or magic, an announcement that they get to send to all their attendees, announcing when it's rescheduled for? How can you use your skills as an entertainer to make their life better? These people who literally support your life and your family. What can you do to serve them in this time when they're getting nailed with badness? Yeah, it's out there. There's plenty of stuff you can do. My other invitation is to make small investments. Small investments that will define your relationship going forward. And you know, it may be the cost of a FedEx envelope, maybe the cost of a phone call, maybe the cost of time of picking up your phone and making a heartfelt video to them, asking how you can help, how you can support them, how you can serve them during this time. I did so much of that pre-video. Wind your brain back to 2001. We weren't whipping out phones to make videos. But those little connection points that I had with those people defined relationships that I had till the day I stopped performing 15 years after that. Make those small investments of time, of money, physical goods, of your creativity. Those will define the relationship you have with those people going forward. Relationship bite number 2, forget yourself and focus on others. And damn it, I'll tell you, I know this is hard during time when money is disappearing. Checks are disappearing, contemplating what to do with deposits. Man, I know it's hard. And when times are hard, those who show up build relationships that last a lifetime. So my invitation to you is to forget yourself and focus on others. Confidence is extremely attractive. Confidence has an unlimited amount of attractiveness right now. So talk about what they do so well, how they do it, why they do it. Have those conversations. Keep people, your clients, whether they're end clients, producers, bookers, meeting planners, DMCs, speakers bureaus. When you have conversations, talk about what they do so well. Keep them in that place. Be that light. Be the person who is somehow above the fear. Right? Because I promise you guys, we are one of the few jobs in the world that won't be outsourced ever. So you have the power to come from there. We won't be outsourced. We can't be. I mean, some events will have the Michael Jackson hologram, but it's not going to be many of them. It's not going to be all of them. They're going to get the Raspini brothers back via hologram. Won't that be something? So be that person. And that starts by forgetting about yourself and focusing on others. And I know I'm coming to you straight from the heart when I say I know how hard that is during times like this. Third category I want to touch on for when you can thrive in the midst of a news frenzy, when everything seems so important and you got to know it now. And this is the way it's going to, bah, whoosh. Yeah, all of that. Get rid of it all. We're going to talk about the business side because this will all be back to normal. And knowing that gives you the great, great advantage of being able to reverse engineer how you want to show back up. This is a massive, massive benefit you have right now. You get to re-engineer how you're going to show up back to your clients, back to your market. Pretty good. We don't have that chance too often. So the tip number 1, take the hit. I'm going to really invite you. Man, you go, Barry, this live stream's costing me a fortune between investing time and money and creativity for no pay to build relationships. And now you're telling me to take the hit when it comes to business? Yeah, I am. You're right. Apply those deposits towards future bookings, you guys. Let them know that this is how you do business. This is how I choose to do business. Yeah. Apply those. Don't eat the deposit. Don't be that guy, that woman. Don't do that. They're already taken enough of a hit. Apply those deposits towards future bookings and let them know that in hard times and good times, this is how you do business. All right, this isn't anyone's fault. Use empathy and urgency as levers. You can say to them, look, I know this isn't easy. And that's why your deposit for 6 months is applied, no extra cash needed. That's intelligently and empathetically using urgency to your advantage. These are powerful levers. So you can tell them, I know this isn't easy. I know you're taking a hit. And for the next 6 months, if you rebook me, your deposit's already paid. Be that person. Take that hit. It's not a big deal in a lifetime, in the overall time that you have in this career. That's going to come back to pay you more than you could ever imagine. I did this more times than I can remember, honestly, through all those different crises, economic and global, that I showed you on a previous slide. Man, I use that stuff all the time. Take the hit. Take the hit. Business hit number 2. I know you've asked, I know you've said this to yourself. I used to say this to myself all the time. I would do that if I only had the time. If I only had the time. If I only had the time to. Guess what? You got the time right now, you guys. It's the time of your life. It is the time. What have you put off until you had time? Has it had to do with promo? Has it had to do with redoing some props? Has it had to do with redoing your website, your video? Has it had to do with hiring an assistant to take care of all the shit in your business that you have no desire to do, and your lack of desire leads to it not being done, which keeps you in the exact same place year after year? You have time. I showed you 5 or 6 slides from Showbiz Blueprint alumni from our group who are being canceled. Gigs are being canceled. Yeah. So you have the time right now. What are you going to do with it? Everything in your business needs attention. I can promise you that. What's the small step that has a big impact? Jot it down. Put it in the comments on YouTube. Let me hear what in your act have you waited, or what in your life have you waited till you had time? This is a forced vacation. It's pretty good. Apply it towards re-engineering who you're going to be when this all blows over. I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell you when, but pretend it's a week. How hard would you work this week to have something set up that you can hit the market with brand new? How hard would you work this week to build relationships with producers who are only hearing crappy news from people? To be that light, to make an offer, to serve them, support their clients, give them your creativity. Yeah, you'd give a lot if it was a week, I know that. So my invitation is win the week. Pick one action from each of these 3 categories and commit to doing it. Can you see this as a gift? Can you cut your news intake by 90%, 95%? Can you find one news source that either feels good or speaks your language or has flavored your political flavor, or you can just get in and pick up what's real? Or can you do even better than that and head over to the CDC, the World Health Organization? Can you go see what's going on for real without any flavor? Can you spot opportunity? Put on that lens of creation that I talked about. Will you choose to connect with your friends, your peers, your colleagues, your clients, or someone that you've always wanted to work with? Can you check in with some of that light? I reminded you all the places it hides in your life. What if you focus on others? And what if you invest by taking that little financial hit? And you're not even taking a hit, you're postponing it. In fact, you can make more money by it. Take a deposit you have and stick it into an investment. Invest in pharmaceuticals right now. I'm not much of a single stock guy, but I am putting some more money into biotech. Yeah, pharma. Use your time off to reinvent yourself, your props, your show, your business. the way you look at your business. What hasn't gone to hell is that a full-time VA from the Philippines still is about $200 a month. How much could a VA that's full-time for you, speaks perfect English, has a bachelor's degree, can research anything you need, how much could they change your business for $200 a month? I have two at all times. I have to. Because if I have a thought, I stick it onto our Slack channel, and while I sleep, it's being worked on. And when I wake up, I have a spreadsheet or a Google Doc or 5 examples of whatever I'm talking about. How could you use your time off to reinvent the way you've always done things? All right, you guys, open Q&A. I want to give you guys a little bit of time at the end of this piece here. Where are we at? Yeah, we spent 30 minutes. That's what I hope to do on this piece here. So if you're live, pop it in the box on, forget FaceTube, on YouTube. On replay, you can do it too, and I'll jump back in for sure. I'll get this replay up on YouTube, on Facebook later. Actually, I will have one of my VAs do it the second I'm done here, because I don't like doing stuff like that. I like to keep myself in the place of what I have to do and what I love to do. One of those two things. So but I will have the replay up on Facebook ASAP on here. So what did I say today that you will jump on? And what did I say that you think is just pure ass crazy? I'm happy to talk about either. And what's your most important next step? All right, good. Let me come back on here and see. I'm going to put this one on. I wonder if it's too big to fit on this thing. Oh, no, it did it. Great. What I use on my contract to credit for the full amount for the deposit will be given to the purchaser to use towards future performance engagement, subject to the availability of the artist. Great. I'd also only add to that, Clinton, give them 6 months. They can book you 6 months in advance. I promise you. I've been already involved in a couple of big events that are being canceled, and they're booking dates now. So wonderful to get that back in your piece. Good. Any advice on what did Jay Great? I love that name. Any advice on working with future bookings? Yeah, man, be proactive. And I'm saying man based on Jay. Jay, work on being proactive. Jump in between. Find out what that event is planning on doing right now. Can you be a proactive person in them and even helping them in ways? This is something I mentioned earlier, but boy, if they haven't canceled yet and they decide to, and you're booked at that event, what a wonderful opportunity for you to show up on a short video, a 30-second video that just says, hey, this is Jay Great. I was really looking forward to spending Saturday night with you guys in Orlando. Truth is, like the rest of the world, a lot of things are being put off, and I can't wait to see you. The event's being rescheduled right now. Jane and John over at ABC Producers are going to be in touch with you real soon. And I will be there in Orlando with you when it all comes back together. So long. What about showing up that way for somebody instead of it having to be that formal BS email that I can't get enough of nowadays? They're just popping in here left and right. This is great. Lou, man, the smartest alumni in Showbiz Blueprint. I love this dude. I'm using the time to create new opportunities outside of performing. Boom! Yes. I love that. Oh, man, don't tell me I lost one. Oh, no. Good. I thought we lost YouTube. YouTube for the win. Hey, I love that, Lou. Yeah, and you guys can all do that. I hinted at it a couple times in here. There are so many ways that we as creative individuals can shine and rise above the muggledom that we live in, the drones that we walk around on the outside. So use this time to create, take risks, do something that scares you a little bit. It's pretty fun. Bring up this one. Joe says, now might be a good time to release that magic trick you've always thought about putting to market. And why not? It's funny. This is a topic beyond the scope of this presentation, but I will tell you, if you have something like that and you shoot a small video of it, nothing's cheaper than finding out the viability of something right now and use the current situation in your marketing for it. Being able to put a Facebook ad out in front of 10,000 magicians about a trick. Yeah, are you kidding? I see those when I go down my Facebook scroll all the time, and I just love it. I mean, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we be leaders to that level during times like this when it's a little bit shorter off? Christian's the smartest dude too, man. Always, I have a meeting on Friday that I'm bringing a pack of Coronas as a gift because they value humor. Dude, that's so funny. I have not seen enough people tie in Corona beer into this thing. Gosh, what a terrible time to be named Corona beer, isn't it? There was this candy back in the 80s. It was called AIDS, and it was a weight loss candy. Man, I mean, how bad can the marketing be, the marketing luck be when your weight loss candy called AIDS turns into a worldwide pandemic disease? Horrible. Hey, one of my favorite people on the planet. I'm actually grateful for the time right now, finishing up a book. Oh man, I'm going to be your first customer on that, Chipper. Can't wait for that book. This dude's dad had a life. It's amazing. I can't wait to read that. So, hey guys, good. Yeah, let's see. Let me bring up a few more questions. Yeah, pop any more questions you have in here. I'm totally happy to spend a little time because I know this is a forum that is really, I mean, this is on the wire right now. This is where so many of us are living right now, and I'm really happy to have a forum and bring 35 years of experience about how to handle this stuff to it. How do you combat the desire in myself? Thank you for owning that, Alexa. To hole up and to hole up and hide. Isn't that something? See yourself as the leader you are. You know, what can you bring? What's the smallest? You know, I had it on one of these. Oh, I had it on this thing, man. I have it right here on this slide. Oh, and this is covering it. Let me get rid of that. What's your most important next step? You know, it is so easy, Alexa. I'll tell you to just feel overwhelmed and can't do anything and I got to shut down. Two things I'll tell you right away is turn off the noise, turn off the pundits, turn off the experts because they're doing nothing except keeping advertisers happy. And the rating for if the advertisers are happy are your eyeballs. So withdraw their power. And second, look at the most important next step you can do, the smallest step you can have that can have the biggest impact. They're out there, I promise you. Alexa, they are out there. Oh, and she said, yeah, I missed the second of this. I mean, I have projects, but a major case of avoidance. Yeah, prepare yourself. Reverse engineer for the reentry. I said that earlier. This time is a gift. Chipper's doing it with a book, you know. Dude's on the road all the time. But to be off the road and have that time where you don't even have to think about that nighttime show, to use that to re-engineer yourself for this impending reentry. I got through that whole sentence without stuttering. Fantastic. Hey, very good. Hey, you're welcome, Chipper. Man, it's so good to see your name on there and all you're doing. All right, you guys, any other questions? If I missed one, I'm sorry. I'll run back by these. Yeah, I think that looks like I hit all the questions. Anyone sees this on replay, though, and wants to jump in with a question, I'm happy to come back around and answer. Thanks so much for your for showing up for this. I know we had a boatload of people seeing the replay. This will be a conversation that'll grow. The main thing I want to leave you with is we are the light. We are the ones who humanity, history has always counted on to pull us out. And during economic global crisis, we're the ones who have to show up. So thanks for doing what you do. And I look forward to seeing you on next time. ShowbizBlueprint.com will get you on some information about Showbiz Blueprint 2020, which is starting in a couple of weeks. Always excited. The 15th session of the greatest program on earth. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.